So let's have a little chat, shall we? On a side note, I want to talk about this first. You know, in my universe, things things always turn out in my benefit. And I'm not bragging from an egotistical standpoint. I'm saying this because I want people to recognize these types of synchronicities in their own lives. Because, see, when you recognize things that are beneficial to you, if you recognize the magic that's within you in your universe that works for you, then you will see the chains that others have put on you, the limits that others have put on you or tried to put on you. You will see those things lift up off of you once you recognize the power within yourself. Now, let me tell you something interesting. Some Negroes tried to, let's just say they tried to be snaky like Negroes are normally known for. Talking about men, black men, jealous, bitter, and angry when they are not getting any attention from another man. You know what I'm saying? So they tried to throw out some energy against, not against me, because I'm Bagugavat. I eat energy. I am Bagugavat. I eat energy and I eat souls. That's what I do. So you can't really throw out energy at me, because I will eat it and then I'll throw it at your mother, at your family, at your health, and everything else, and your wealth. But most of you all ain't got none. You feel what I'm saying? They were so jealous because under the energy of Sia Grant, I was put up on a pedestal, in a sense, and I was treated with respect and honor and dignity, and I still am under that energy, and those niggas could not take it, especially when I did that interview. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Niggas got really jealous behind that. And even with their best efforts, with their words, with their energy, with their action, all of those niggas are deteriorating. And I'm still elevating, and I'm on an upswing. I had a very powerful witch tell me recently. She said, you are on an upswing. You are on an upswing. She's an older woman, an older witch, an older oracle, very powerful. She's in her 70s or late 60s, something like that. But either way, she's very powerful. She's my neighbor. And she told me, you're on an upswing and can't nobody touch you. And see, I already knew that, but she confirmed it. See, when you have black older women around you that respect you and you respect them, can't nothing fucking touch you. You feel what I'm saying? When you have black women around you that really like you and that are for you, can't nothing touch you. See, a lot of you black men, you batting on the wrong motherfucking team. We're not talking about sexual orientation like you niggas are so caught up in sexual orientation. You're so caught up in sexual orientation, and that's why so many of you niggers are not progressing, because you're ignorant. Your ignorance will be your death. She told me, you're in an upswing. But see, I already knew that. She just confirmed it. I'm Bagugavat. I'm an unstoppable, universal figure. And the power of Bagugavat is with me. It protects me. And it destroys my enemies. And it doesn't just destroy you, it makes you suffer. And your suffering will never stop. You understand what I'm saying to you? But these niggas were so fucking jealous. And then I didn't get it at first until the spirit showed me they're jealous. Because they're not getting that type of attention. Nobody asks them to do anything like that. They're jealous. You see? And no matter what, nothing but positivity has come out of anything that I have done as Sia Grant. Nothing but positivity. Nothing but goodness, blessings, revelations. Spiritual evolution. Evolution spiritually. Expanding my consciousness. All of those things came out of me. Of me. So when people try to discredit you, or they try to make you feel a certain ways about yourself, at least for me, what ends up happening to those niggas, they end up dying of strokes, heart attacks, all types of fucked up shit starts happening to them, and worse. Because somebody contacted me, a young man, and if he sees this video, I'm not going to mention your name or anything, but a young man contacted me after seeing me in different places. And he wanted my advice. Because that young man is an elder. And elders can hear, even though I'm much older than him, he's still one of my elders. Because he can hear the vibration and the frequency in my voice. He can hear the consciousness. That's why he came to me. He's a gay young man as well. And he heard the frequency. See, that's how you know a person is conscious. Or if you know or you can tell, let me say it this way, that's how you can tell if a person has lost their consciousness when they can't hear the frequency anymore. See, a lot of these niggas have lost their consciousness. They've lost their frequency and vibration on a high level. And they're now operating in lower frequencies and vibrations, or they might have always been that way. See, I operate on a higher vibration and frequency, and nobody can't tell me any motherfucking thing different. See, I know what my spirit shows me. About me, not about somebody else. Not about kissing some other person's ass, but about my own spiritual journey. So whenever you motherfucking niggas try to do shit to try to discredit or mock or make fun of somebody, that shit always blows up in your face when it comes to Bagugavad. Because at the end of the motherfucking day, Bagugavad is constant. And Bagugavad cannot be taken down. And Bagugavad, which is me, cannot be motherfucking destroyed. But you motherfuckers can get destroyed in the process. There's a saying, when you stand in hell's way, you will be devoured. When you stand in hell's way, you will be devoured. You understand what I'm saying to you? So even when motherfuckers in their best efforts try to throw out shit to make people feel a certain way, especially with me, it always works out in my favor. Because in my universe delivers to me everything that I want that is beneficial to me. And everything that I need that is beneficial to me. And I'm saying this because that's how you have to get your mind in a place like that. Don't follow what other people say. And I had to get away from following what others said too and started following my own energy. Like calling yourselves gods. Truth be told, we shouldn't be calling ourselves gods. And that's all I'm going to say. That's low vibrational. And another wise woman showed me that not that long ago. See, I go to wise women. Because see, that black women, that is. Because that's where you're going to get your real motherfucking confirmations and revelations and informations that help you internalize that and go on about your spiritual journey. A lot of these niggas, they can't fucking help you. Far and few in between. We're above the gods. And that is how I live my motherfucking life. Gods are here to serve me. I don't serve them. You feel what I'm saying? So when motherfuckers try to discredit or try to cause you harm with their words, don't say nothing. You let your universe correct it. And your universe will bring to you the people that are supposed to be in your life, the people that are supposed to be around you, opposed to the people that your ego attracts to you, like fanatics, which are fans. Fans are synonymous with fanatics. I'm not looking for no motherfucking fans, and I don't really have any. I don't mind having admirers and people that respect and want to hear what I have to say. That's another thing. But I just wanted to say that, and I wanted to show you how that shit flipped, and everything is still okay. I'm still vibrating at a high frequency, and I'm still elevating, and I'm still on a motherfucking upswing. No matter what happens, I'm on an upswing. No matter what human problems I may have, I'm on an upswing spiritually. And that's just the truth. Let's talk about the Capitol. I know y'all been waiting for me to talk about that, because I'm right here in the DC area. If Marion Barry was still mayor, and if he was alive and still mayor, that shit wouldn't have never happened. See, one of the reasons that shit happened too, and I'm doing both spiritual and whatever, follow me. One of the reasons that shit happened too is because of Muriel Bowser, the current mayor of DC, who is some shit. And I don't give a fuck who don't like what I'm saying. She is some bullshit. Muriel Bowser brought in the energy of gentrification. See, gentrification is energy. And it's a spell. And gentrification is not just about physically moving people out of their space or moving indigenous people out of their space and land. It's also about separating them from themselves on a spiritual level as well. See, people don't understand that. It's about separating them from their spiritual selves as well, their indigenous nature. And that is what she did. She opened up the gateway for this type of energy to come into DC, because back in the day, if Marion Barry was still mayor, or we still had that type of Marion Barry, this type of energy around, or even his son Christopher Barry's energy, that shit wouldn't have happened at that Capitol. Wouldn't have happened. Marion Barry would have made sure that shit did not happen. I'm just speaking, in terms of, energy. You got to look at the symbology that guy with the horns, that guy that had the horns and shit like that, and that fur cap or whatever that shit was. You know what I'm talking about. You have to look at the symbology and the symbols that man had on his body. See, real occultists, we understand what those symbols are. He was carrying the energy of Odin, which in Norse mythology, he was channeling that energy rather, which in Norse mythology is the god of war, heaven. I'm sorry, the god of earth, wisdom, and I think death, if I'm not mistaken. Earth, wisdom. No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me look it up. Let me look it up because I just had it not that long ago. Let me look it up. Let me look it up. Okay. Odin is the god of war, wisdom, and death. Okay? So that was the energy that this young man was channeling when he went up there into the Capitol. I know some people say it was staged and this and that, but I'm not. Let's look beyond that for a minute, and let's examine the energy. How was he able to even get past those guards? Because that was spiritual, and it's also connected to Volknut, which is German derivation and German energy. So he was pulling from his German ancestors and German magic to make that motherfucking shit happen. You feel what I'm saying? And let's take out the notion, oh, they're racist and this and that. Actually, if you got real spiritual eyes, you should be able to see what the fuck was really going on. Those did not look like Trump supporters, no matter what types of hats they were wearing. The energy behind that was hippie energy, Charles Manson type of energy. Look at what they were wearing. Look at their hair. Look at their body language. Look at everything about them. Sometimes you got to put the race stuff aside and look at it from an occultist standpoint. To me, that was not no Trump conservative energy that rioted up there at that Capitol. To me, they were more so of a hippie type of energy. Liberal, hippie, leftist type of motherfucking energy. You get my motherfucking drift? Helter-skelter type of shit. Remember when Charles Manson and his family, that cult, remember, that's similar to what they did in California around Los Angeles and Hollywood, I guess, back in the 1960s and 70s. They went into people's homes and into establishments and did all that types of shit. Remember, they were doing shit like that too. And that's the type of energy that I got. Really radical, hippie, liberal, leftist type of fucking energy. That didn't seem like no Trump conservative energy. And then that young man with the horns on his head, he had 3 triangles that were interconnected. 3 of them. Give me 1 second. Those 3 triangles that are interconnected, they're called Volknut. Volknut. That is a symbol of the German people. That is a symbol of Germany and their people. And it's all rooted in the occult and magic. So he was pulling some spiritual shit and some spirits when he did that motherfucking shit. You can tell with the symbolism that was on him. Sometimes we get blinded by the notion that everyone and everything is racist. And I think that tool has been used a lot to keep black people under a certain form of mind control and entrapment. And when I say entrapment, I'm talking about having to reincarnate back into these lower vibrating worlds. Earth is not the only one. Earth is the only one they just told you about. There are other low vibrating worlds that are similar to Earth, and some of them are even worse. You feel what I'm saying? We have to go back to American Horror Story, Season 7, The Cult. When you go back to the character of Kai Anderson, Kai Anderson was the personification of a Donald Trump type of character. And at first glance, you would think that Kai Anderson was a racist or a homophobe. But in actuality, he was none of those things, because he was bisexual, and not only was he bisexual, he loved having sex with black women. He was also into incest. He was having sex with his own sister. But when you look, the cult that he had in American Horror Story, his character, when you looked at them at face value, they were all white men. There was one black woman in their cult. Her name was, her character's name was Beverly Pope. She was a newscaster. When you looked at that group in totality, it was filled with white boys and white men. But racism was not their motivator. Racism wasn't their motivator. Their motivator was fighting for what they believed to be freedom, because they felt like they had been a forgotten voice. So what they did was they went around and they killed liberal politicians. They did now I'm not saying this group killed anyone, but I think they did, but I don't know and I don't care. That's not the point. The point that I'm making is that in American Horror Story Season 7, The Cult, they did the exact same thing in that season that these rioters did on Capitol Hill. They went around, they broke in, but they were worse in American Horror Story. They went around killing people. And they killed people and framed other people for it, because they were trying to trigger people and they were trying to start a conflict. And it wasn't based upon race per se. The point that I'm making is this: the wool has been pulled over the eyes of a lot of black people. And sometimes you got to look past the race and look at what is the real agenda of these people. I'm not saying that it's good, and I'm not saying that it's good for black people. But sometimes we get so caught up in race as occultists. I'm only speaking to occultists, black occultists. Sometimes we get so caught up in race that we don't see what's right in front of our face. And yes, that rhymes for a reason. So what are we really seeing? What are we really being told in all of this? Is my question. What are we really being told? That we've been bamboozled and they used certain situations to keep us entrapped in our emotions, in our lower vibrating frequencies, in our ego, so we cannot elevate to a higher state of consciousness where we can see the bullshit right in front of us. They sacrificed our brothers George and Trayvon and Oscar and so many of the other black men. They sacrificed our brothers to keep us trapped in our emotions. They keep us at each other's throat, even in the fucking conscious community. These niggas can't even listen to what a gay guy says because they're so homophobic and racist and prejudiced towards other black people. But if I was a white transvestite, they would be all fucking ears, no problem. You feel what I'm saying? You ain't too high up on the hog that you can't be affected by this motherfucking shit. So what is the game that's being played right in front of our face? I'll tell you what it is. It's called entrapment. Trying to keep you entrapped in this lower vibrating frequency. Trying to keep you distracted. See, you niggas were so uptight because I was dressed in drag on that interview with B.O.B. You niggas were so uptight about that. that you missed the motherfucking message. You missed the hidden message. Some stupid motherfucker talked about some promoting some goddamn gay agenda and all this old bullshit, trying to tear down my energy, calling it trash and all that. No, motherfucker, your mother is trash. Just like her vagina is trash for giving birth to something like you. I said his mother is trash. Just like her vagina is trash for giving birth to something like you. That is why these white boys can step to you motherfucking niggas, because you're too focused on the wrong shit. You didn't see the synchronicity that was taking place in that interview that I did, because you were too blinded by somebody being dressed in drag. And that is why you niggas are being bamboozled and fucked up. Now I see why. That's why you being fucked up, because you get distracted. And I had kind of gotten caught up in the matrix a little bit with that bullshit too, but I done came out of that. Because now I see what the fucking problem is. You niggas can't even fucking see what's in front of you. And that goes from when I did that interview, that goes for that, and it also goes for what's happening now. You just don't fucking see it. They were so jealous and so unsettled because I was part of that interview, and I really didn't even say much in the interview. I was just there as a special guest because I am a special person. I am. And I deserve to be treated with respect and honor and dignity. And that is what I was treated with on that interview, no matter what no motherfucking body says. You understand me? That is what I was treated with. Because that is who the fuck I am. I ain't no motherfucking saint. I'm always the motherfucking sinner. But you niggas are blinded by your ego. You're blinded by that. And that is what's getting you niggas killed. Wisdom is heaven. Earth is war. Earth is war, wisdom is heaven, and death is hell. And when I say death, I'm talking about death of your energy, death of your soul, death of your spirit. Lacking knowledge is hell. Separation from light, which is knowledge, is hell. And not having the wisdom to back you up means that you've been cast out of heaven. See, the real story about people being cast out of heaven is being separated from that wisdom, which is that divine feminine energy, being separated from that. And that's the problem with a lot of you motherfucking niggas. So what the fuck are you really seeing? Or rather, what do you really want to see? Or are you only seeing what you want to see? We all know how quantum, the quantum world works. We all know about that. How observation changes outcomes. I'm on an upswing. That's what I see. And I see all of this shit that's happening now as part of my upswing. That's what I see. What do you niggas see? Oh, that's right. You're too worried about a man in a wig. You're too worried about gay black men. You're too worried about Donald Trump. But none of you niggas see the racist that Joe Biden is, right? Interesting. Sometimes it's not about race. Sometimes it's simply about power. And who has that power? See, that white boy with them horns, he was pulling from his ancestral line. He was. He was pulling from his ancestors. I can tell. I sense that fucking energy. How come none of you niggas aren't pulling from your ancestral line? Oh, that's right. You're too worried about a man on a wig in an interview that had nothing to do with you. And you niggas are so fucking stupid that you can't even see the synchronicities that play out right in front of you, like when I did that interview with B.O.B. There was a synchronicity there that was spiritual. That's why it was done. And that's why it was done in such a fun atmosphere. Because most of you motherfucking niggas that follow this one and that one, you're not even really fucking conscious. You just want to see people at odds with each other, in conflict with each other. Because so many of you niggas are in conflict in your own fucking mind. That's why most of you niggas can't even stay by yourselves. Because you hate yourselves. And I know I'm going off on a tangent. I'm just having a moment. But everything that happened up there on that Capitol, that's the same scenario that was in American Horror Story Season 7. Same scenario. They created a cult. They created a group to change what they wanted to change. And it was a bunch of white boys in that too. And looking at them at face value, you would think that they were racist, but they really weren't. It wasn't about race. They had a black woman in their group, and they treated her very well. And incidentally, it was the black woman, once that group started getting out of hand, and once they started, cannibalizing off of each other and turning on each other and then eventually trying to turn on the black woman, once she found out that their leader, Kai Anderson, was really no motherfucking good. Well, he wasn't no good in the get-go, but from the get-go. But once he really started spiraling out of control like fanatics do, because a lot of you motherfuckers are fanatics. Once he started spiraling out of control, it was the black woman who stood to task and took him down. So see, they were telling us symbolically that the key in unraveling this matrix or this debauchery, the key to unraveling it and bringing it down lies in the black woman. See, that is why they try to keep black women off their motherfucking game so much, because they know black women are the ones who can really destroy them. And I'm not talking about race. I'm talking about elitism. I'm talking about the people in power who oppress other people. The savages who oppress other people, and it ain't just white people either. It's a collective group of them. I remember my friend Christopher Barry once said that it is bullshit that people believe that only 1% of people are oppressing people. That's some bullshit. And Christopher was right. That was one of the last videos he did. Shout out to motherfucking Christopher Barry. So it's the black woman who has the power to really bring these motherfuckers down. That is why they're constantly attacking the black woman. And anyone who is in alignment with the black woman, such as myself. And when I say in alignment, I mean supporters of the black woman, particular black women, not all of them, but some of them. So what are you seeing? And what are you being fed? Do you think it's all about this? Do you think it's all about that? Because what you think may not really be true. See, I didn't say anything about the stuff that I had been feeling about that interview that I did because I didn't want to give it too much attention. But I got to get that shit off my motherfucking chest. And I have to say, I think I did a brilliant motherfucking job. No other person could have done that, and Panic wouldn't have asked no other fucking person to do that. Because he knows I'm not a creep and a fucking weirdo. Like a lot of you other motherfucking niggas that like showing up at people's motherfucking doorsteps. Because I'm a real spiritualist. I can see. I can fucking see. You can post and quote all the books you want. But if you don't have any wisdom to back that up, you're dead. And when you're dead, you're fucking dead. That's one of my famous lines in Hellraiser 2 when Frank told that to Kirsty when she thought her father was still alive. He said, grow up, Kirsty. When you're dead, you're fucking dead. Anyway, this is about Gugavad. If you got any motherfucking questions, hit me up. If not, speak now or forever hold your peace. I'm out.